friends, this is the Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. Today I'm going to show you how to make hot water pastry. What is that? It is actually a depression recipe that has 3 ingredients. That's it, plus a pinch of salt. Now, I'm going to share the history behind this recipe for me. If you don't want to hear it because some people think I talk too much, then shoot on down to right here and then just get to the stuff. But my heart really is in this part of the video. I take care of Lynn. Lynn is my charge. And her best friend was Miss Joyce. Miss Joyce was a 96-year-old woman, and when she came to live with us for a period because she was at the end of, let's see, the December of her life. How's that? And she had since gone home and is now at peace. But when she got here, I'm telling you, I had earrings bigger than her. She was just the most delicious thing ever. Alzheimer's got the best of her, but we got to have her, so I'm okay with that. Now, she was telling me about hot water pastry. Well, what is that? And so she's telling me in the Depression, times were really tight and ingredients were really skim, and so she had made hot water pastry. She made it every Friday. Every Friday she made a lemon meringue pie for her husband when he came home from work with the hot water pastry. And initially she was going to do a video with me. That never happened. So I'm missing her today. And so today I'm going to make her hot water pastry and her lemon meringue pie. When she gave me the recipe for the hot water pastry, it's, how did she say it? 2 and 2, 2 and 2. And I'm thinking, what? That's the recipe. I'm going, okay, so let's break it down. And it really is 2 and 2. So I made it the other day, and I made this delicious peach pie. Check it out. Right? It is the strangest pie crust I've ever used. I couldn't help but playing with it. I made a huge batch just because I wanted to. And I didn't really know how much it would yield. It made a lot, but I think I doubled the batch. So there was plenty for like 3 pies. Anyways, so the recipe, the dough itself, it's not flaky. It's not, well, I used butter. Her recipe calls for lard because butter was quite a luxury back then. And when she made the meringue, she said, if I had extra, gosh, I wish I can get it right. If I had budgeted properly and I'd have a scoop of butter left over at the end of the month, then I'd put it in the lemon meringue. It's like, that's how it was. So the pie that you saw, I made that with butter. This is going to be her original recipe with lard. So let's just go play with that, and I'll share more about Joyce. You know what? Let me show you Miss Joyce. Let me show you these 2 girls together. They were the best of friends. Let me show you, these are the ingredients. Right? Okay, so I got my pan going hot. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. 2 cups of water, pinch of salt, and 1 cup of lard. Now, again, I used butter yesterday because I knew I was going to use lard today, and I wanted to see what the difference would be. I'm imagining that this would make it, I don't know, flakier, and definitely more flavorful, believe it or not. More flavorful than butter. All right, so that's going to just come and melt together, and it's going to get a little bit of a boil. All right, I got a pretty good boil. I'm going to turn the heat off. Here's the hot water. All right, so once the lard is fully melted, You know, I'm gonna take it off the heat. Okay, so it even looks weird. It looks kind of syrupy, but it's obviously not. And then I'm just gonna put in 2 cups of flour. That's it. That is the entire recipe. Now that I'm playing with it, and I'm definitely going to be using it for other things, look at how weird that is. It's just so weird. But it comes together really, really well. Reminds me of paste that we used to make in school. Well, it kind of, you know, what are we looking at here? Let me see if I can show you the consistency. Can you see that? It's weird, but it's really cool. So that's it. It's all mixed. It's all ready to go. Obviously, it's way too hot to handle right now. So I'm going to take it over and let it cool for just a bit until I can handle it. And it's funny because, you know, back in the era, the older you get, the less feelings you have in your hands, not because of age, but because you're so used to just handling foods. Pot handles weren't, the pot holders weren't real close, and aprons were handy, so as thin as they were. So I'm just stirring it to start to kind of cool it off. I can put it in another bowl to cool it. This is going to retain a lot of the heat. I think I'm just going to lay it on the counter to cool. Yeah, this part is, this is what you do at home that they don't show on Food Network, but this is what's going to cool it off. So I'm just going to spread it. It's so weird. I'm just going to spread it and let it cool until my hands can work it, and then I'll knead it just a little bit. You can't mess this up. So I'm going to let it sit for a bit, mix it up a couple times with a spoon, let it sit a bit, and I'll show you the progress. Okay, so I mixed it once already, smushed it back down, and is this crazy or what? Because of the lard, it's not sticking to anything. And it's getting a little easier to handle, but not just yet. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, it's still too hot. Okay, this is nice. Perfect. This is beautiful. It's easy and it's so mushy. It's the weirdest, funnest thing ever. All right, so I'm going to put some flour on here so I can roll it out. So I want to clean my board. And the thing is, this is not going to have to sit like most pie crusts have to sit and get ready. This, there's no messing around here. The weirdest stuff. Make it just to play with it. So if you didn't know me by now, you will know now I'm a complete and utter dork. I forgot to knead it. So let's knead it. The cool thing about it is that it does cool off pretty fast, and then you're able to really get your hands in there. And all you're doing really is just kind of combining it, making sure it mushes together and holds well. I had made, like I said, I'd made a double recipe, so I had extras. And then I took that and I rolled it out and I made hand pies, kind of like empanadas. And then, yeah, it's still like breaks. That's what you want. That's actually what you want. So don't be afraid of that break or tear. It kind of tears. Maybe tear is a better word. It's like if you had mashed potatoes. That's what it's kind of like. You make a mashed potato crust. I wouldn't be surprised if they have that. I've never. All right, now we'll roll. In fact, I think I have too much. Bear with me, bear with me. I do wish I would have made this video when she was with us. She would have very quickly corrected every error. I've always had a very, very tender spot for the elderly. So when she came to live with us, it was rough, but it was really, they had a lot of fun together. I always took them on outings. She lived in Lake Havasu when we lived in California. And so I would pick her up I'd hike, get Lynn all ready, and we'd go pick her up in Lake Havasu, and I'd take these girls to Laughlin or to Vegas and just have a grand old time. All right. Oh my God. I'm having the most flippin' fun with this thing because it's not coming up. It's not coming up like I want it to, but I know this pastry works, so I'm still going to use it. Remember how I said it's forgiving? Whatever, man, it's going to work. Look at that. It just mushes together, and this doesn't shrink. So however you leave it, that's how it will be. I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm not going to redo it. Yep, I'm just going to play like Play-Doh. Now watch it. She would say, well, it's not for the weak. I think I know what she meant now. And I don't mind. I don't mind doing this like this for you guys. Because if you're struggling with the same thing I am, then I don't want you to feel defeated. I will let you know that yesterday, the pie crust, it was effortless. So it may be the humidity in the air right now. The only other difference was where I did it. My other pie I did at my baking station on the other side of the kitchen. I'm good with this. I'm good with this. Is that crazy or what? It's hard to describe exactly. It's a good, thick, hearty pastry, and as a matter of fact, it was perfect for the hand pies that I made. I just took some, actually I think I just made them with scrambled eggs and salami and ham and cheese and corn. I think that was the mixture I made inside these hand pies. And I folded them over, pierced them, topped them with Parmesan cheese, and baked them. And they were delicious. That pie with the crust was really fantastic. All right, I'm going to keep working on this just to pit-pat, and I'll show you the. Okay, now you know if I'm going to show you something, I'm gonna show it, even if it doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to, because if I mess up, chances are you mess up. You may just nail it the first time like I did. But I just don't want you to be intimidated by it. It's only pie. And this crust, oh my gosh, I just love how incredibly easy it is. So I'm building it up because I want to make a pretty edge. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to fold it over and just make a pretty edge. So I kind of want it all smushed and even and such. And then the lemon meringue filling, I will tell you, I've never used it, but that doesn't mean anything. So to give the pretty edges, I just get my 2 fingers and 1 finger, or probably my knuckles because I got nails, knuckles, and interlock them. So knuckles, where the last one left off, that's where the first one goes. And that's all. You could use a fork, however you want to make the edges pretty. And then I'm going to put some parchment paper, cover the whole thing with parchment paper, and put some beans or rice. I don't know if I still have my pie beans. And my pie beans are just pinto beans that I reuse for my pie crusts. That's all they are. It's nothing special that you have to go out and buy. You could use rice, anything just to keep the weight so that it doesn't pierce. But I gotta tell you, I don't know if this one would. I almost don't want to because I want to see, but I'm already goofing this recipe up for her, so I don't want to bring shame. All right. Well, I'm just a blunder all around. I'm going to use foil. Because I want it to hug a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to put in, I'm going to cover the bottom with rice and then up the sides. Now, this rice I won't use for anything else but doing this. In the oven at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, then I'm going to take this off and brown it. This will be the only time you bake a lemon meringue pie, so you want to make sure that it's done. Okay, so time for the meringue. I have a meringue video below for my recipe. There are thousands of recipes. This is just one of the many. So I'm going to get this on a medium-ish heat, and I'm going to put in cornstarch. That's a nice snow job. Before I even do that, though, I'm going to take a couple teaspoons of water and just sprinkle the gelatin on top. I want the this is going to make it really firm. I want the gelatin to absorb all the water, so that's going to sit, and we'll bring it back later. So I've got the sugar and the cornstarch, and I'm kind of just going to toast the cornstarch a little bit. Not a lot, not like when you're toasting flour. But if you don't put some heat to it, look, it's snowing, it's going to taste bland. So just a few whisks, really. That dust, that is the cornstarch. Crazy, right? All right, and I'm going to add 1 1/4 cup of water. And just keep whisking, kind of like a sweet slurry. In the meantime, while that's getting warm, I don't know if you can see over here. Let's just bring you over here. Oh, that was bumpy. All right, that's going to keep cooking. I'm going to whisk 5, I use jumbo eggs. Remember, anytime I bake, I use jumbo eggs. So I've got 5 egg yolks and some lemon juice. And I'm not going to use the zest, but I am going to use the pulp. I don't want to separate that. And then go back here and just keep stirring. I won't move you anymore, I promise. So we'll stay here for about 5 minutes until it gets a little thicker, a little kind of syrupy-ish. While this is thickening up, let me show you these girls together. They're just too precious for words. These are my girls. Seriously, do you love them or what? Okay, so now we're gonna get a little bit of a boil here. I'm gonna take this gelatin that's really firmed up, and I'm gonna melt it in here. It's absorbed all the water, which is what I want. I'm just gonna whisk it until it gets dissolved completely. Then I'm gonna add, I'm gonna temper these eggs with some of this hot liquid. Remember, when you temper, when you're cooking with eggs, if you put hot, you're gonna scramble. So we're gonna put a little bit in, whisk it, let it cool off a little bit, a little at a time, and we're gonna take our time because you wanna make sure to do it right. Some people just mishmash, but they're not showing you everything. So I want you to be able to say, yep, that's how it looked in her video, so that's how it looked in mine. Better yet, I'd like you to say, oh, I can do it better than her. Yeah, baby. By the way, if you wanted to use the zest of a lemon, you go ahead. It's her pie. She just didn't, so I won't. Okay, so can you see it's starting to get a little bubbly? I'm going to turn off the heat, give it a whisk. It's yelling at me. And then, let me see if I can you see this okay? All right, so I'm going to just scoop up a little bit. And I'm whisking it fast because I don't want, I want to cool it. So the faster I whisk, the more air that gets in, the easier tempering is. Now for a perfect crust, if you wanted to, and I think I will on this, look at that, it's getting thick. You can strain this egg yolk when it's done, this egg mixture. Nope, I'm going to go a little bit more, just because I don't want it to, look at that, that's nice and thick. That's going to be great. Who knew? One more, and then I'll finish up. Oh. Sometimes it happens like that. Alexa, cancel. Pie's done. Okay. This is going to go back in the oven to get that part cooked. Alexa, set the timer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And back to this. So now I'm going to take this off the heat. I'm going to whisk it just a little bit. I told you I wasn't going to move you, huh? And then I'm going to very quickly whisk this egg mixture in. That's beautiful. Man, that's beautiful. All right, so I'm going to put it on the lowest heat I can and just let it thicken up just a little bit more. Okay, you see the whisk leaving its trail? That's when you know it's good. It's going to set up when it's in the refrigerator. We're not going to eat this until tomorrow. Ah! I don't have one of those magic refrigerators where I can put this one in and pull one out. All right, there we go. Okay, so I took the pie crust out of the oven, the lard. I can hear it. I can hear it sizzling, you know. I didn't hear that with the butter, but then I had a filled pie, so that might be different. I don't know. So we're gonna make the meringue, and the meringue is just the same. We used 5 egg yolks, so we're gonna use the 5 egg whites. Remember, there was no waste. And oh, oven's ready. I had asked her about using cream of tartar, because that's usually what you use to stabilize the meringue, and you almost always use that in meringue. She didn't have it because it was pricey, so we won't use it. But I'm gonna get this going, and when it starts to get a little frothy, I'm going to slowly pour in the sugar. I'll use about ½ a cup for the 5 egg yolks, and that's it. That's it for this meringue. So let's go make it. That's a good stiff peak. That's good. Okay, so the lard did make it shrink up just a bit, but just a bit. This filling is just probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Yeah, you know I'm gonna taste it. You know I am. Quality control. Oh my God. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I really do hate waiting. That is so good. Luckily, I don't think I'm gonna fit it all in here. Dang it, I am. Yeah, yay. I will be nibbling on this later. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes in the refrigerator. All right, it's a little soft and runny. It's gonna firm up so nicely. And so I'm gonna put some of this on, and it's gonna jiggle if I'm not careful. This is crazy. This is why I let it sit for a bit. I'm going to keep working on this because I do want to take my time. I don't want it to, this is my last chance to make it look pretty, so I want to make sure I do. Again, I think I'm cheating you by not showing you. I want to touch this to the crust. Once I have this foundation, I'll come back and play with the top. And this is a pretty substantial pile of meringue. But give it its due diligence. Let it do, let it get what it needs. Once that's all covered and touching the crust, then you can pile this stuff on and give that beautiful peaks that we know for lemon meringue pie. And then it goes back in the oven. And I'm going to pile this on because it's so tasty. Make it pretty, and then put it back in the oven. Now, this is because she did it. Ordinarily, in my video, I showed you that I like to use the food torch to touch it just where I want it, but she put it in the oven. Of course, they didn't have food torches back then. I'd like higher peaks than... There we go. I'm burrowing into it pretty good. All right. The higher the peak, the more browning you're going to get. And that's kind of what I want. I want these little peaks to really accelerate, really exaggerate, I mean. So 350 for about maybe 20 minutes, just until you get the inside of the meringue cooked and the peaks nice and toasty. Is that beautiful or what? My goodness, I hate that I have to wait till tomorrow to eat it, but it does need to set up. It does need to just, it'll get nice and firm. Maybe it won't be till tomorrow, maybe after dinner. But I'll tell you what, if you want to look at the inside of it, check out my Instagram, The Bijou Baker, and I'll post it there because I don't want to keep you waiting here. But tomorrow we'll dig into this. And in memory of my sweet Miss Joyce, I will think of you with every bite. Good stuff. All right, my friends, hot water pastry and our lemon meringue pie. What more could you ask for? Food is memory. Until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.